We're now in the part 2 of the exam discussion. We're still on question 14 on this equation here. In this equation I have fractions, so I am looking for the lowest common denominator. So what I will do is I will multiply by my lowest common denominator here, both sides. You'll find it here and here. And now I see that 1 minus x over 1 minus x becomes 1. And, oops, not that one, but x plus 1 and x plus 1 becomes 1. And so my two sides become x plus 1 times 4 equals to 1 minus x times 5. Some people call this cross multiplying. And I'll stop here, you can just carry on from there. Okay, let's also do this equation here. So think in terms of operations again. I have fractions, so I'm looking for the lowest common denominator, which is 10, because 2 fits into 10. So I multiply everything by 10. If I do that, every single term, remember, 3p over 10 times 10 is 3p, minus 4 times 10 is 40, equals to p over 2 times 10, that's the same as 5p, and multiply this by 10, I get, take away 40. No, sorry, 80. Okay, and then you carry on from there. Now, question 15. I've already done a sketch here for us. There's a tower, there's an observer. The tip of the tower is at an angle of elevation of 32 degrees and the tower is 150 meters away from the observer. So here you see we don't know anything about the hypotenuse. The ratio that doesn't involve the hypotenuse is tan. So tan 32 degrees is opposite over adjacent. Be really careful not to confuse the two. The opposite here is the height of the tower. So, and the adjacent is the 150 meters. Right? So you're going to multiply both sides by 150 meters in order to solve for the height. And I'll let you carry on from there. Please, when I say this, just pause the video and continue working. And now on to question 16. I've labelled my two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. I see that I've got a plus y here and negative 2y. So if I double this equation, I end up having a 2y and a negative 2y, which is good because they have the same quantity here of y's. So what I can do with these two equations now, I can be adding them. So I'll write 2 times equation 1 plus the equation 2. Okay, I add each term. This is 10x. This is 0y, and this is going to be 32. And so x equals to 3.2, since I divide both sides by 10. Please don't stop here. Some students stopped. This is a question on simultaneous equations. I have two variables, so I need to solve for x and for y. The method is to substitute into one of the two equations. For example, this one, 3 times 3.2 plus y equals to 7. Please now finish this equation and solve for y. So now on to question 17. I've plotted the coordinate points, and now here I need to find the coordinates of the midpoint. Well, look carefully at your sketch. Work with your sketch. I'm looking at point A and point C. The midpoint is the point exactly in the middle. Now I can see that the 2 points here, horizontally, they are 8 apart. Count it. Check it for yourselves. Pretty obvious if I start at -6 and go all the way up to 2. That means that 4 steps across, I must be exactly in the middle, somewhere here. In fact, it's going to be right here. I just need to find out how high up am I. This is at 2, the point A is at 1, so I'm going to be looking for exactly the middle between the two, 1.5. That means I now have the coordinates of this, which is -2, that's the x-coordinate, and 1.5, or 3/2, which is the y-coordinate. That's the best way to find a midpoint. Now I'm looking for the distance between C and D. That's in question B. Okay, so I'm looking for this distance here. Best way to do that is to draw a right angle triangle with a vertical part and also a horizontal leg here. Then I can easily use Pythagoras. I can easily find out how far these two are apart. I have to go 5 up and 2 more, so this is 7. And here I need to start at -6. I go all the way to -1, so this is 5. Okay, so AC squared will be 7 squared plus 5 squared, which is 49 plus 25, which is 74. And so AC is the square root of 74. And finally I do question C, where I need to find the equation of the line between A and E. So I've joined them up with this blue dotted line, and it's probably a good idea to look at how far I am traveling going from A to E. I can see that I'm going down by 2 and I'm going across by 4. Clearly the gradient of the line is negative because the line's going down from left to right. The gradient is -2/4, which is -1/2. Also, what that means is for 2 steps across, I go 1 step down. It also means that for 2 steps to the left, I go 1 step up. So what looks like a y-intercept of 2 is actually 2. And therefore, when I'm looking for the equation of the line, I'm getting -1/2 x plus 2.